What's up everybody, welcome back to another one of my fantasy basketball videos, and in this video I'm going to be going over the top 5 players for the rest of this season. So these are players that basically I wouldn't be trading unless I'm getting one of the other 4 players in the deal, or I'm getting such a significant amount of value back for any of these players. Because and the reason I'm making this video is because I'm seeing people making these trades that I don't get it. Like the Joker for like Tatum and like Harrison Barnes or something like a second round talent and like a mid tier, like a late mid tier talent, and that like for Joker, like when you have the best player, the only thing you can make in a trade is for 2 lesser players. You know what I mean? So I felt like I should make this kind of video to try and go over my top 5 players, why they're my top 5 players, and what kind of value they should hold within your league. So first player up is Damian Lillard. Now for me, he is the number 5 player out of the top 5 for the remaining part of the season. So far, he's been on fire since his number 2 and number 3 became injured, which should be CJ and Nurk. So who knows how long it will take for either one of those two to get back and to get 100%, as Nurk broke his wrist, and I'm pretty sure it was his right wrist, which is a shooting wrist, and CJ had a hairline fracture in his left foot, which that could heal, but he wasn't able to run around or anything throughout the recovery process. So who knows how long it's going to take for those two to come back 100%. Now, in meanwhile, while they've been injured, Dame's just been killing it. He's been killing it. He's been killing everyone, and that's why I think he is currently a top 5 player, and he should remain a top 5 player for the rest of the season, because even if those other two guys come back strong, he's still a first-round talent, and he's still putting up hella good numbers. So although he's weak in field goal percentage field goal percentage, rebounds, and defensive cast, I rank Dame number 5 because he is a specialist in free throw percentage, threes, assists, and points. So basically what I'm trying to say here is he may not be able to help you. He's not hurting you in field goal percentage for a point guard. He's not hurting you in rebounds for a point guard. 4.3 rebounds, pretty good for a point guard, actually. But his defensive cats, they do hurt. Only 1 steal, which is, we knew that's about what he was going to do coming into the year. That's what he does every year. And 0.3 blocks is about what he does every year. So we knew defense was going to be a liability with him. But when I say he's a specialist in free throws, threes, assists, and points, that means he might win you these categories. He's, let's see, free throws, 93% on the year, shooting 7.5. He's making 7 on the year, shooting 7.5 per game. That's extraordinary. For threes, he's hitting, let's see, 4.5 threes a game at a 38% clip. That's remarkable. For assists, he's averaging 8 assists a game, which is well above average for a point guard. He may not win you that. He's not as high as like a LeBron or Trae Young, but he's still very, very good, and it's right there. And points, almost 30 a game. He's in the top 5 in the league. I believe Bradley Beal is at like 32 a game, and he's probably number 1. And then I think there's Embiid at number 2. I believe that's how it is. So he's definitely up there. He could definitely help win you a lot of categories. And like I said, he's not going to really hurt you field goal percentage or rebounds. It's just the defensive cats are liabilities. And for a side note, Portland plays 4 times in every playoff round. Every playoff week, excuse me. So first round he plays 4, second round he plays 4, third round he plays 4. So that just adds a little bonus to his value, instead of taking a little bit away as you would with like the Detroit Pistons, who have a really, really poor schedule. And like, so if you're trying to trade for Jeremy Grant, his value is probably a little bit down because of his playoff schedule. Anyway, moving on to number 4. I know the Greek Freak has not been doing all that great for the beginning part of the year, but he still holds significant value for teams punting free throw percentage, because if you look at his stats, I just put the whole thing in there so you guys can see it. For this year, he's shooting 19 times. 55% for a forward. Well, almost 56%. He's killing it. That's a major help. His threes suck, but I mean, at least he gives you something in threes. The thing that kills you is the 10 free throw attempts and only making 66% a game. Now, even though that's not good, look at what he does extraordinarily well. 29 points a game. Awesome. One of the top in the leagues. Rebounds, almost 12 a game. Awesome. That might be tops in the league. It's very close, if nothing else. He's averaging 6 assists a game, 1.3 assists, and 1.4 blocks. So he is currently a 1-1-1 player, 1.1 threes, 1.13 steals, and 1.4 blocks. All awesome numbers. Again, the free throws, and this year, I mean, he's hitting his turnover mark. Last 3 years, he's been 30.7. Nothing's changed. But I have him only at number 4, and I don't put him in the top 3 tier because he hurts you so much in turnovers and in free throw percentage, and he doesn't help you enough in threes. But I mean, you could still easily win with Giannis and build around him with players like Ben Simmons, Rudy Gobert. Hell, even maybe try and trade low for Andre Drummond right now because anything can happen with him. All right, and for a side note, Milwaukee has a weird playoff schedule, which kind of hurts the Greek Freak's value going forward, as at least he plays 4 times in the first round, but he only plays 3 times in the second round, like a lot of teams. A lot of teams are only playing 3 times. But the thing that makes up for Giannis is if you make it to the final round, he plays 5 times in the final week. In the championship week. So even if he takes a game off, he's still going to play no less than 4 times. But he doesn't really take games off, so he can easily play 5 times. So that's a great thing if you are a team that's killing it this year and you're going to make it to the championship round. It's going to be a huge boost for your team. All right, before we go on anymore, I have a few lists of notables and reasons why they didn't make the list. So first up, in no particular order, I just threw this list together. First up, Joel Embiid. He has health issues every year. He just misses some games here and there, and he's been taking a pounding so far this season. I love Embiid. He should be MVP. So him or the Joker, one or the other, should be the MVP this year. I don't know what's going on in people's minds, why LeBron's even in consideration. It's either Embiid or the Joker. Anything else, it's just man, it's just a ripoff, in my opinion. Next up, we have Zach Levine. Now, can he prove himself capable all season long? Now, what I mean by that is he's never put up numbers like this before. If you look at his numbers, you're going to be surprised if you haven't been paying attention to Zach Levine. He has been putting up stellar numbers: 28 points, 5 rebounds, 5 assists, over a steal a game, shooting over 3 threes a game at 50%, 85% from the line. All great numbers. So, can he keep this up all season long? Lately, Wendell Carter Jr.'s come back. You have Cody White. You have Otto Porter. Let's see, Markkanen's coming back soon. So once they're all healthy, will he still put up these numbers? And not only that, he tends to miss games every season. So can he just stay healthy? Those are the 2 big knocks on him. All right, next up we have is Kwai Leonard. Can he a fully healthy Kwai Leonard is a first-round talent. I kind of did want to put him in my top 5, but the thing that I felt like is holding him back is across the board, he helps in every single category, but in points, he's only averaging in the 23 to 24 range, and I feel like to be a top 5 talent for the rest of the season, you should be at least 26 points a game with most things. Like, it's not like the benchmark. Well, you can't make it if you're only hitting 25 points a game. But what I'm trying to say is, if you aren't a specialist like Dame is, and you're that low on points, even if you help in every single category, I feel like that's going to be a knock a little bit on you. But still, he was in consideration. But the reason I would keep him out is because of his points per game, and he has a great playoff schedule. So does Levine, and Embiid has a very good one as well. I just pointed that out there. And so number 4 on my list is Kawhi Leonard's teammate, Paul George. Now the thing with him is he had a head injury issue the other night. He was experiencing dizziness. Honestly, it's probably allergies. I get that a lot too. It sucks. I hate it. It happens. And then we don't know what's going on with his foot. Also, more his toe. We don't necessarily know what's going on with that, if it can get re-aggravated or anything like that. But he's been killing it this year, and if he stays healthy, he should probably be on the list for the top five player on the year. But again, and you also don't know if he's going to rest down the line, because we don't know how the Clippers are going to play down the line with their superstars. All right, and for the last player we have is Luka Doncic. And the reason why he is on this list is because he is low on the defensive stats. He's only averaging like close to a steal a game and barely any blocks a game. And I know it's right there with Dame Lillard's projections. But the thing with Dame is, for a point guard, and I know Luka's a point guard, for a point guard, he kills it, and he is such a specialist at points, free throw percentage, assist, and he's all right with rebounds. Oh, and what's the other one thing he kills? And three-pointers. He is killing it. He's been lights out in those categories. And I know Luka's having it like not an MVP type season, but he's definitely in the consideration. He's in the running for it. And he's been, if you look at his stats, he's been great. Strong field goal percentage. His free throw percentage is right about where we expect it to be. Shooting a nice amount of threes. You know, he's that triple-double machine. He's doing everything well. But the difference between Luka, in my opinion, and Dame is how well Dame's been playing. I know Luka's been getting like 8 rebounds a game and 8 assists a game and close to 30 points a game. But I just feel like Dame has more value at this point in the season than Luka does. All right, so moving on to our top 3. First up is James Harden. So KD and Kyrie have missed a bunch of time, and all 3 of them have barely played together. But Harden has been thriving in Brooklyn. And not only that, he helps in every single category. Now, I only have him ranked 3rd, and I know some people are like, "What? Why is he ranked 3rd?" Well, some people might even have him ranked higher, so a lot of people probably have him ranked lower, but I only have him ranked 3rd because of the uncertainty of value once KD finally does come back. Now, KD, there's something going on with him in his head. Like, I guess he doesn't realize a pandemic's going on. He's the only player who's missed multiple games, or excuse me, multiple stretches at different times because of COVID protocols, because of tracing. So, like, I don't know what's going on with KD, but, like, he's got to get his head in the game. Like, he can't be doing this if he's going to, get some chemistry with his team. Like, but, I mean, this is a real possibility that this happens. If it happens, like, James Harden to the moon, like they like to say in the stock market. Anyway, down low we have the stats. And, before we get into that, side note, Brooklyn playoffs. They aren't the best, which is another kind of knock on him, as he has 4 games in the first round, 3 in the second round, and 4 in the last round. But if you could just make that past that second round, you'll be straight. A lot of teams are only playing 3 times this in the second round, so that is a positive. But you have your best players playing 4 times every week in the playoff rounds. All right, so anyway, I'm just going to basically look at the bottom line, which is specifically Brooklyn's line. Now, he's shooting really well from the field goal percentage, almost 50%. That's great. Now, he's shooting the same as he's been all season. So you're just thriving. You're just feeling it. Excuse me. He's just feeling it in Brooklyn. That's all I can say about that. He's hitting the same amount of threes as he's been all year, over 3 a game, which is awesome. He's shooting less at a higher clip at 42%, which is awesome. I don't think he's going to be able to keep up the field goal percentage and three-point percentage numbers, mainly because he shoots almost 8 threes a game. I do expect him to come down, even if he comes down a little bit. Like, if he comes down to like 47%, that's still awesome, especially for him. Because where he makes his bread and butter is the free throw line, and he's shooting 85% on the year. Unfortunately, it's only less than 7 times. He's usually like at between 10 and 12. But still, nonetheless, it's very, very solid. He's going to help you in that regard. He gets you a lot of rebounds, almost 9 a game. And that's not going to change because they don't have a big. 11.4 assists a game. Again, he probably leads the league, and he's thriving. And when I say thriving, I mean because he's able to distribute the ball and get a ton of assists. He's the point guard. Kyrie he lets him do his thing. Kyrie's like, Harden, you get everyone else involved, and when I want to shoot the ball, then I'm going to take the ball. And then, even though he's only at 1.3 steals, which is still very good, the reason why he's still very valuable is because of his 0.7 blocks a game. So that basically means he's getting one block 7 out of every 10 games. And that's still a solid line. That's still very good for your point guard. Now, you don't want to see as many turnovers. Like, you'd like to see that dip down a little bit, but like, it is what it is. He has a lot of high usage rate, and he's still hitting over 25 points a game too. So there's so much greatness that comes with James Harden. And at the beginning of the year, I said, don't worry about where he gets traded. He'll be fine anywhere in Brooklyn. Well, he's doing it in Brooklyn too. So anyone who decided to draft him in the top 5 this year, or even #1 overall, pat yourself on the back, because you earned it. You deserve it. He's been playing great for you, and I don't see any reason why it's going to truly stop. At the very worst, I expect Harden to still be a first-round talent for the rest of the season. At the very worst. All right. Runner-up on the list is Steph Curry. Now, although his defensive stats are average or weak at best, as he has 1.3 steals, which is solid. It is actually solid. It's at least average, if nothing else. It's not great. It's not like 1.7, 1.8, which is something that you would hope for from like your #2 overall player. But it's still a solid number. And the thing is, like, he doesn't get any blocks. Really doesn't get any blocks, which is fine. You don't think, oh, Steph Curry, I'm going to draft him because I want to win the blocks category. You don't want to do that. Anyway, although his defensive stats are weak, he produces at such high levels in points with 30 a game, 3-pointers at almost 5 a game, by 4.08, rebounds for a point guard, which is 5.5, very strong. Field goal percentage for a point guard, which is actually a little bit down from previous years at 48%, and free throw percentage, which he is at 93%, shooting almost 5.5 a game. Those are all going to help you win your categories. He's like a better specialist than Dame is, right? So because he had produced at such a high level with these categories, that his strong stats help more than his weak stats hurt. And basically, his only weak stat is blocks. If you really look at this, his turnovers aren't even that bad. 3.2 is not that bad. 3.2 is not like 3.7 or 4.2 like Harden. 3.7 like the grief rate. And he also helps you. Okay, so he's not great with assists, but he's not hurting you with assists. For a point guard, 6 is it's above average. It's very good. You don't mind that, especially when you have so many other great stats from him. Now, if I own Steph Curry, I would be looking at something like a second-round talent along with like a 6th-round talent at the minimum, at the very minimum. Now, I didn't go over this with the other players because I didn't really know how to go about it too much, but I would expect for Harden, 2nd-round talent plus a 6th-round talent at the very minimum as well. And then with Dame would probably be like a 2nd-round talent plus like a mid-round talent, maybe not 6, but maybe like a 7th, 8th-round talent. And that probably goes well with, see, Giannis is a different level, like, because of this free throw percentage. When you're playing in a Cats league, you just don't know, like, it's hard to gauge his value. Because if you go and trade for him, then you're essentially killing off your free throw percentage. And if you were good at that, well, he's going to kill you in that. So everyone's going to value the Greek Freak differently. So I don't really know where you want to go with that. But if you are a team that does not have him and has punted free throw percentage, I would try and do like a Luka for Giannis or something along those lines for a 1-for-1, or maybe like a 2-for-2, maybe like a I don't know, maybe like a Simmons and Gobert, which would pretty much not even be worth it if you're going that route. Or whoever your strongest free throw shooter is, try and get rid of him for Giannis, and try and pair up like a Tatum and someone else, Anyway, back to Curry. Side note on Curry, Golden State only plays 3 times in the first round of the playoffs, and then Golden State plays 4 times in the second and third rounds of the playoffs. So as long as you can make it past that first round, you'll be good. It does hurt his value a little bit, but he's been on such a tear this year. He's been on a mission without Klay. He's trying to prove people wrong. They started off the year so bad. They got blown out bad in the first few games of the season. It was not looking good. And now he's just... Look at these stats: 30 points a game, 6 assists, 5.5 rebounds, 1.3 steals, all strengths. Free throw percentage, 5.5 a game, 93%. I know I'm just reiterating this stuff, but 4.8 threes and 48% from the field, almost 5 threes a game. That's absurd. So you don't even mind the field goal percentage when you're shooting 4.8 threes a game. Just absurd numbers. He's been great. Again, I would not trade him for anything less than a second and sixth round talent at the very minimum. Honestly, if you're trading for like a low second round talent, if that's what you're going to ask for, like that's what you're going to offer, I would be looking for like a fifth round talent, like 2 top 50 players in that regard, or like a first round talent with the sixth round talent as well. All right, and number 1, no surprise, the Joker, Nikola Jokic. He helps in every single category except blocks, which is kind of weird for a center, but since he helps, and he's basically like a specialist in every single category outside of blocks, that you don't even care. He's by far the number 1 player this year because he has no question marks about him. He's been healthy. Even in previous years, he's been healthy. Now, if I had him, I would not be trading him for anything less than a first round talent and a 5th plus round talent. So that means like maybe not Curry, maybe not Harden, but like if I'm trading for the Greek Freak, if I'm trading him for Dame, if I'm going to trade him for Luka, if I'm going to trade him for Embiid, well, you're going to have to throw in another top 50 player. That's my asking price because he is the best player, and it's not even close. That you got, like, some people just have to understand this. I know that sounds like a lot, and it's because it is. Look at his numbers: 27 points a game, 11 rebounds, 8.6 assists a game, 1.6 steals a game. Even his blocks, 0.6 a game. It's not like it's bad. It is bad. 0.6 blocks a game is bad, but at least he's contributing. Okay. Now, free throw percentage, 88% a game, 80% on 5 a game. That's freaking awesome. 2-point percentage, 60%, which is awesome. 3-point percentage is over 40%. It's almost 42%. It's almost up 10% from last year, and he's played 36 games. I mean, it's going to come down sooner or later. So expect that to come down to like 38%, honestly. But still, he's giving you 1.6 threes a game. He only takes 3.7. That's freaking awesome. And his field goal percentage is killing at 57%. All across the board, everything's awesome on this guy except for blocks. Even his turnovers, it's only 3.2 a game. That's it. I just keep saying awesome, awesome, awesome. That's what this guy is. That's what he's been this year. He's definitely going to be the first overall pick next year, as long as he stays healthy, regardless for the rest of the season, unless he really blows it in the second half. In any case, again, I would not be trading him for anything less than a first round talent plus another top 50 player, at the very, very least. All right, guys. That's all I have for you in this video. I hope you guys enjoyed it. I hope it helps you out if you're trying to trade any of these players. And thank you guys for watching. Have a good one.